That's one. Right at the moment, I'll keep the officer back here. But,
So we're activating the third as well.
No?
is that the third? Is he part of the
This
third?
artillery is.
Oh, he is. Oh, does that mean that this guy's a third? No, because I didn't.
No, this guy came in, right? He was the only reinforcement you can bring in that was quote unquote in road column at the end of the last
That's
turn,
right.
right?
Yeah, the other one's just,
Oh,
yeah.
These
So he
guys
was
are
actually
all
able to
part of the
move.
fourth. Yeah.
Well
yeah.
done. Quite so, yeah.
No, no, David. This guy is part of the third. This
And
other
therefore isn't,
artillery, the
hasn't been
other artillery
activated.
is part of the fourth. That's part of the
Right.
fourth. And this is part of the fourth. But
I forget
this
where.
stuff
Okay.
here is part of the
This,
third.
right. He was.
Actually, no. The two that are in the forward position are actually independent units.
Oh, okay.
They're not part of the fourth.
Right. This guy is the commander of the third, right? All right. So, okay. So they came, since they could have a limited end, that's why they were there. That was as far
Right.
as they could go in road column on that
That's
side.
right.
Right.
So this, I guess, was back at 3, 4. He wasn't stacked with them, was he?
No. You had these two units
Right. They
stacked
were stacked
together,
together,
and then
and they
this guy I
he
have
was
no
back.
idea who he was stacked with, if anybody.
All right. I think that's. Yep. I think that's good. Where's my fourth commander? And I need some more. So commander of the fourth is. All right. He's here. Where do I want him? Um, let's I guess he's pretty good where he is there. And bump a little while ago. All right. And some more finished markers here. Need one for these grenadiers. I need one for a light. I need one for other light. And I need one for the Jaegers. All right.
All right. There
There's
was much
Michael and
confusion,
Eric.
but
A little bit of confusion. But
yeah, well, you know.
Situation
I'll.
normal.
All right. So I'll roll here a die. Boom.
Yep.
And we got an 8 and a 4.
Okay, that
That
moves
That's
looks
us
like
another one.
turn of the
that's a
clock.
wing. That's a wing for Michael, isn't it?
It would be a wing if, if I had a wing that mattered. Uh, let's see. Yes, indeed. I have a whopping one commander that I can move. Theoretically, I could activate a whole wing for laughs. Questionable value to doing so. I think I may zoom back in a little so I can see what I'm doing. All right. Well, I guess I need to activate again the one unit I can actually activate, and that would be Woodford of the 3rd Virginia, and he is here, and he is in reach of Stephen, who's his commander, and so everybody's in command, and then it's time to move some folks. There's no disorder to recover from. If I look at the map, that's not a slope. All right. So if he moves comme ça, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I will, this one will be considerably less. That's going to be 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3. And I engage in a life or death struggle to try to get the units on the top that I want on the top. I'm painfully familiar with how that goes. Oh, you know what? I was being a little bit quick to the draw there, actually. I need to be more careful. It cost me 2 to change directions.
Because you're not
Oh.
terribly well trained.
For my infantry, yeah. So I probably need to pull the infantry back and try that again just to make sure I do it according to the book. So let's see. Makes me wonder if I'd be better off just going into line. Yeah, I think I might. So I'll just take those guys into line because that only costs me 1. And then I'll move him there for 2. And I'll stop there because I can't stack with unlimbered artillery. This fella, I think I'll probably do the same thing. I will go ahead and put him into line, even though that then means I got the relatively high expense of going up that. That's going to be a, is that a regular slope there? To my northeast?
I believe that
It
is,
looks
yes.
like it is.
Or is it a steep slope? I'm trying to figure out where's an
Well, the
example
steep
of a
slopes.
steep.
Look over here by the
Oh,
morass.
the steep slopes have some black in them,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
they? Okay, all right.
So
Well,
that
then
looks
I'm going
just
to
like
say that's probably not
a
it.
regular slope.
Regular slope, so that's going to add 1 to the cost. And let's see, so I've already spent 1. That's going to be 2 to cross there. That's going to be 3 to go in there. And I guess it's 3.5 because that's a grade hex. Yeah, I believe that's right. Okay. So that's fine. And then the real question is, what do we do with this last guy? What do we do with the last guy?
Voluntarily route.
Oh, what was I thinking? Of course. That's for sure what I wanted. No, it's not.
Oh.
I'm just going to hold him right there. Okay. Well, I think that's it for those guys. And I will go ahead and mark him as done. And, ooh, look at that guy. He rates pretty good. Look at that 8 initiative rating on this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you had him at Monmouth, didn't you?
Who
I
is
think
this?
I recognized the name. Woodford?
Yeah.
Is that a good rating, or are you being facetious?
No. The 8 in the lower left there is
Right.
his initiative rating. So if he's not in command and needs to place himself in command, or a lot of the special events might require an initiative roll by the leader that you want to apply it to. So that's a good one because it means basically it's 8 chances out of 10 or 9
Oh.
chances out of 10. So it's very high rating.
Because a 0 is a 0 in this game.
A 0 is a
Yeah.
0, exactly. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that's it for me. I don't think there's anything else that's terribly useful. So,
Back to your turn to roll the dice.
back to my turn, is it? Okay. Uh-oh.
It's another one for you.
But no advance of the time there. I looked, by the way, in the line of sight rules,
Yes.
and I saw no consideration for elevation differences as far as line of sight goes, in the sense that the trees that are on the way between, let's see, there.
Right.
Oh, wow, that is a really weak looking line. Do you see it, David?
Where are you?
Up here.
I'm up there on my northern units. I
Okay.
used the line tool, but
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
the thread tool, but boy, is it a thin little line. Clearly, I'm crossing over some trees.
Correct.
Yep.
As I read the rules, and of course, I haven't been to New Jersey in 1777, so I don't really know. But as I read the rules, it says it just blocks LOS. It doesn't say, if your, trees count as being one elevation higher than the land they're on. Sometimes you see rules that do that.
Right.
And so you could just treat it like a higher elevation and maybe you can shoot over it, right?
Right.
It didn't say anything that I saw, unless I just missed it. So I can only assume that these are really tall freaking trees, which is not out of the question. East Coast of the United States, why not, right? So even though I'm 50 feet above the ground where those trees are, the trees could be more than 50 feet tall. I mean, I could see that. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there because ordinarily I would go ahead and fire with this guy because I should be able to see him.
Right.
But apparently not, which of course is back to David's original question, which is why the heck would you set those guys up in that location where it's going to be canisters are us is all you're going to be able to do. So given that, and given the same problem with this other artillery unit here, this one over here, these guys are behind trees. All of them are, even though the trees are quite a bit lower elevation than either the guns that are firing or the targets. But hey, rules is rules. So I will go ahead and let's see. I guess I will just go ahead and activate that one there because nobody's doing anything anyway. And it's over to Eric to chuck dice.
All right, let's see if I can get something exciting. A 7-3.
Well, it's one for y'all.
Yeah. Is it more than 10 or is it 10 or more?
It's more than 10. Yeah,
Okay.
so that does not cause the turned marker to advance. It is a wing activation for y'all.
Yes.
How exciting.
Because Howe's number is 7, and it's more than you rolled more than twice what I rolled. So,
And Niphausen is a whole wing, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I could move everybody. How exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone who's in range of him, right?
Yeah, wing activation could only apply to units that could, or to command leaders that could trace command to the wing leader.
Right. So
Yes.
Niphausen is here, so you'd have to be within 6 of him to get there. So
Remember, you got the road effect for command leaders.
Right. Yeah. So.
Are you worried about the 1st Brigade commander up there?
Yeah, I don't see that he's within reach, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even if we use the road, I don't know that
I
that's
don't
going to
think
get us
the
any
road is
closer.
not going the right way.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so yeah, it looks like not the first um, brigade, but looks like probably everybody else though.
okay, all
Why
righty,
don't you go for it? That's the most efficient for us.
okay.
Yep.
So, and I then move each brigade at a time, correct?
Actually, as a wing activation operates, it is one activation.
Okay,
And actually, the great advantage of a wing activation is that you can coordinate multiple commands, which, obviously if you're approaching to combat is really handy, right?
right,
Um, so it's not a sequence of activations. It's a single activation with all the units. So first things first, who's in command? Who's not in command? It looks like everybody's in command with the exception of these guys back here, but you don't care about them.
right.
I say that. Well, who are these guys down here? The second field artillery? Where's the commander for the? I'm looking at this field artillery unit down here.
It looks like his commander is here, right? That is somebody named Grant.
Right, so he is, yes, that's right. And Grant is a special leader who can, if he's close enough, actually command first and second if he wants to.
Yeah.
That actually would suggest that artillery unit is out of command.
Well, I'm curious about it because is this unit part of the first, or is that
Well,
just the
that's
first of the 28th?
no. The number on the right hand side of the of the formation type
Right.
is the command it belongs to. So that is okay. Now I'm completely confused because the
'Cause
units
here's the commander for the first
yeah,
up
but
here.
look who's around him though. Units from the second.
Well, did they just get put on the wrong spot? Well, that's really weird. And here's
So
units from the second, and here's a bunch of
exactly,
units from the first.
they're all higgledy piggledy.
They are higgly
Um,
piggly.
Now, to be clear, I don't know if they were properly set up that way or if we just took their word for it. Um, looking at his wing, it looks like the units are mixed all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I look at the setup, you see the first brigade. There's 2 units on the southwest map. There's 1 on the northwest map. Second brigade, same thing. There's 2 on the northwest map and 3 on the southwest map. So I think you got them set up in the correct locations. It's just that they are badly snarled. So what that effectively means, unless there's a rule in here that I'm missing, that make sure, because there was something.
So what do units do that are out of command? Are they
So
able to move or what?
yeah, they are able to move. They are able to move at half their normal speed.
Okay.
And obviously, you would probably be inclined to move them towards their command leader.
Right.
The other one, just to add to the complexity there, especially given that you're trying to unsnarl this mess, is that you've got a somewhat unusual leader in that Grant can actually activate the first and second, but obviously that only works if everybody's all close enough together to make that work.
Right. But does he have to? I mean, he can command units of the first, even if the leader of the first is not nearby. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so specifically what it says in the special rules, Major General Grant commands both his own command, the 2nd Brigade, and when desired, the 1st Brigade as well. The 1st Brigade can be activated as its own command under its generic commander. However, if the British player wishes, he may use Grant to activate the units of both the 1st and 2nd Brigades as well as the 1st Brigade commander. All normal rules for such an activation apply, just treat it as a single activation. If Grant becomes a casualty, his successor cannot activate 1st Brigade. Okay, so what does that mean? Um, if he's going to activate both of them, well, then then everybody who's not within 3 is out of command and would be reduced to half speed.
Right.
On the other hand, if you activate them separately, well, some of those units up north are going to be out of command anyway.
Right.
Because they're next to the first guy.
Yeah.
So I think, given that the wing activation can't activate the first, I don't know if
It can't activate Grant, right?
he can activate Grant, and Grant could choose to activate both first and second. Although obviously that means all those units that are beyond 3 from him are going to have to move at half speed to get closer.
Right.
All right. Now, why can't he activate the first?
Oh, he can.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
you
it
just
would
said-
just be this
but
guy here.
You can't activate the first as a separate command under the wing because he's too far from Kniphausen to be able to do so.
Right.
You can activate second
Yeah.
as
So
part of the wing.
Right. And that would mean that this unit and this unit, since they're part of the 2nd, could move
Yes, at half speed,
half speed.
which is all they were going to be able to move anyway.
Yeah.
So actually, yes, I think probably your best bet then is to go ahead and do exactly that. And then as a separate activation, activate the first, because then you'll be able to move this guy and this guy at full speed at least.
Right.
Whereas if you activated both first and second as part of Grant, then all these units up here would be out of command.
Right. Right.
It's complicated.
Okay.
But, okay.
So if I do the wing, I can do the Hessians and Grant and any of the units that are within Grant's range, whether they're first or second. And then in a subsequent activation, I could move the leader of the first and any units of his that are in the zone.
Yes. Now, you wouldn't move any of the units of the first that are down here.
Why not?
Because you're treating it as a separate command for this turn.
Oh, okay.
In which case, this guy would sit until the first activates, and then he would move out of command. Because again, the commander of the first is way the hell up there. So it looks like it's going to take you a little while to actually get your commands kind of sorted.
Okay.
Which is great
time.
because I'm sitting over here. Well, yeah, you can't come across for a while anyway, can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this will be good practice for you. I'm a little confused. I just want to make sure I understand the order of battle would seem to suggest that the 71st has its own commander. Oh, I'm sorry. I see him. He's right here. I don't know why.
Yep.
For some reason, I thought that was the first of the 71st, and it is, but it's just it was under him. Okay, all good.
Okay, so if I activate Kniphausen as a wing, I can activate the Hessians. I can activate Grant and those elements of the 2nd.
Yes.
That are part of Grant.
Yes.
And even those that are the ones that are out of range of Grant.
Right, just because they're part of the second, they are still activated.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then I could activate also the same stroke than this chap here.
That's correct,
Okay.
exactly. And this guy back here would be also activated, but out of command.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's what I'll do. So I'll activate then. First, we'll start with the Hessians. So this chap is just going to turn slightly. Right. So at least he's lined up on the road. And
Right.
then this guy is going to go here and here, and then he's going to turn. So he's lined up on the road the right way to go, and that should do it for them.
I was going to say,
Not on a road.
well, he's not on the road, but on the other hand, it's probably not a bad thing to get him out of the way because it looks like you're going to have to get the English troops all kind of sorted.
Yes.
So
well, and
having
the other thing is
actions
that
in the way
if they're
helping.
marching right in subsequent turns, they'd march this way, this way, this way. If I have him facing this way, he's got to turn
Absolutely.
and then go.
Yeah, you
So
might as well
use
spend it now.
Yep, exactly.
You bet. Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
all right.
And then this chap will come down here, and we'll get him turned as well. So he at least is going the right way in theory. All right, then we'll go up here with these guys. So it's half for them to go there, and then 1 for them to turn.
Yep, so that's
and
1.5.
half. And so then that's
Yep,
2. They've used their 2 movement points.
That is 2, that's right.
Okay, and then this chap can spend 1 to turn, and then half, and then a full to get there.
Yes,
Okay.
and that would be fine.
All
yes.
right, so he's done his thing up there. Now, we still have these chaps and these chaps. Let's see.
For what it's worth, remember that, well, I mean, I guess it's not that big a deal, but just, I mean, David did some stacking. It's not out of the question that you could stack some of these units if it made sense, because you sure don't you don't need to worry too much just yet about. Well, you're certainly not a target for one thing. So
right.
it's not
so
like
if he
stacking
moved
is
here,
making
and
it
then this
bigger.
guy could then stack underneath him. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, that was kind of the idea. Is a 6 and a 5 are pretty small. You could stack them together. Remember that stacking order matters. Sometimes it's worth taking a look and flipping the units over and seeing if it matters which one's on top. Usually you put the bigger one on top just because it just will last longer before it gets ground down.
Right.
To 50% losses. So that's just something to consider as well.
Okay. And then these guns were, let's see, well, if he was here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he's only got a range of 3. So he couldn't have done that. So I need to move him here because the guns, it costs too much at half move for them to move down.
Yeah, that's all they're going to be able to do is just move the 1 hex.
Okay, so if I'm here, they'll be in command next turn. They'll still be in command. Those guys are chugging along. Okay, so then I will flip him, and that takes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Hold on. Has the artillery moved?
No, it has not.
Wait, I mean, he should be able to move 1 hex.
Well, if it costs me 3 to move into the woods, and I can only move half, do I always get to move at least 1 hex?
It's one of those things. It's very common in many games. I'm just trying to remember if that's true in this one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the answer is yes, but we'll double check just to be sure. I feel like as long as it's not impermissible,
right,
terrain, I'm pretty sure it's okay. That's page 18-ish. See if I can put eyeballs on it. Here we go. No. Wow. No, not at all. A unit may not enter across a terrain feature if it has insufficient MPs remaining to pay the cost. Units may not enter across prohibited terrain or enter the map. And there isn't anything that says, don't you worry, you can move 1 hex.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, that's that. No, like I said, a lot of games have that rule. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So then
he's
moving
done
him there probably made sense in that
Yeah.
case. And everyone's set up for the next turn. All right. So 71st doing anything? Or the
They
Queen's
are
Rangers?
because you can come across the fords. I just can't cross the other fords, right?
That's a good question. The rule doesn't specify anything about whether I can cross the fords.
Right. I mean,
one
my
way or the other.
understanding is
It
I
just
can only
forbids you.
cross at this ford, but there's
Well,
nothing to say that you can't cross at any of the fords.
Yes.
Which made me
it-
think, okay, well, should I
No.
cover some of the other fords that you might attack across
The
if you're trying to get to
only-
my baggage wagon kind of
Yeah,
thing?
I mean that would be the only concern. Is that this guy, every strength point loss counts as 3 strength point losses. In practice, boy, I reserve the right to change my mind, but that seems pretty bold for a guy who's probably going to get rousted off the map here. I'm not really sure. I think that's going to be high on my list of priorities.
What?
I mean, where are my dragoons?
They're
That's it.
shielding my dragoons.
I'd send them to go do that if I had them, but I don't. So, I'm not sure if I'd spend a lot of cycles worrying about it, but I mean, I guess. I mean, the truth is that unit by itself is always going to kind of be, somewhat less effective because he's literally going to be activating by himself unless you get a wing activation.
Yeah.
So he's always going to be a little bit awkward to use.
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, yeah, kind of holding him back a little might not be completely out of the question. It seems like a shame to cover a ford, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I thought I would just, if nothing else, I could kind of turn him here, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And just leave him there, or maybe put him in line, right?
Yeah, you could do that.
And that way, then, if you come across, I can.
Right, and if
do
I move down to
something.
Gibson's or something like that, well, you could obviously change formations and don't worry about me then. So, okay. And then the Queen's Rangers, I mean, you're certainly welcome to activate them. They were within 6 of Niephausen. Strictly speaking, you should have announced that they were part of the activation, but I'm not going to get too worried about it.
Yeah, I don't really have anywhere to put them just yet. So,
all right. Well, that's
try
fine.
to get everybody else untangled, so I will
all right.
just consider myself
the second of the 71st. Are they going to move forward at all?
the
I mean,
second.
bearing in mind that they can move forward, they just can't get within 8 hexes of an American
Is that
unit.
the one they can't get within 8? Okay.
They're effectively the baggage train.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's no point in moving them. I'm just going to leave them there.
Yeah, in fact, really
Right.
bringing
'Cause
them
if they take
forward
any
is just asking
losses-
for trouble.
Yeah, if they take any losses, that's victory points against us, right?
Yes,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And I'd also suggest moving Nipphausen forward to be at least on the road, so now you'll have extended range for the next time you were to be in command with him.
No, that's not
So
a
if
bad
I put
idea.
him here, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So then
Yeah.
that counts for, is it 2 road for every 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it could be 12 road hexes away, and a subordinate leader would be in command.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know.
So always kind of a good thing to bear that in mind when you're placing a wing
So if he's
leader.
here, yeah. So everyone. So now this guy would be in command too. Right,
Yeah, you
one,
would
two,
be.
three, four,
Yeah.
five. He wasn't in command previously. He was a little too far away. All right, I think that takes care of things. So then I can go ahead and flip Kneephausen. All right, and that's it for me.
Very
Woo-hoo.
good. Very good. All right. David, I think it's your turn.
All
Someone needs
right.
to throw the dice. A 17.
Another
Oh,
wing for me.
and no
An, an,
movement to the.
another wing I don't need. Yeah. So at this point, I guess I just start finding units like back here in the back, like this one. And you're wondering which one is that? It's the back line, the bottom one.
Okay.
I'm marking him right there. There's nothing to do, so
He's
that's that.
basically just flipping the leader over.
I am just basically flipping the leader over. Oh, but since it was a wing activation, I could probably cause us all less agony,
And flip
and
multiple.
I could just activate Green's wing, which includes both that one and the one right next to him,
Whedon.
Whedon,
Josh
and
Whedon.
yeah, and because I'm sitting on the couch, the cat has come over and wants to get on all the crinkly papers. Thanks a lot, knucklehead. Okay, so that's it, and I guess it's my turn to roll,
Yeah.
so I will roll. Okay, well, there's another end turn advance, and that's another British activation. We still haven't rolled a 0.
We
I
still
know.
We
have
still
not.
haven't had a special event yet.
I know. It's exciting, isn't it?
It's very strange.
All right. I'm going to take this one, Eric, with
Sure.
my last one, which I guess is the third. Is the
Right.
last one. Okay.
I think maybe.
So did a road column the artillery and road column, can they move through that other artillery unit that's not in road column?
Uh, oh, you're talking about that one up there. Gonna say probably not. Let's look for pass through. A pass through occurs when a unit enters and exits a friendly occupied hex when if any one of the following is true. They are different types, they have different facings, different formations, or if the stacking was violated. So I'm going to say that a road column unit going through a march column unit, those are different formations. So a pass through event occurs, and in that case, you have to do a disorder check at the end of the movement. And the disorder check would probably have a small modifier on it. I wouldn't worry about it too much given circumstances. You're a long way from the enemy. So yes, you can.
But I do a disorder check.
Pass through movement would add a +10 to your effectiveness rating for your die roll for your disorder check.
Are you trying to get that entire brigade in road order, Dave? Is that the idea?
No, I was trying to get them a little further down the road, but okay. So I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's one
One
movement point, right?
movement point.
Right.
Um,
Or yeah,
I'm going,
that's for everybody, right? For
yeah,
on road. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to come out of road column.
All
So
right.
that's 2.
Yep.
And actually, I can go there and no disorder check, and that's 3.
Yes.
And I can go one further.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Actually, that's
Did
3,
did the
4.
did the stream cost
I
a
don't think
plus?
this.
Okay, well then this unit here could move 1 hex
Stream?
further forward.
Okay, all right.
I,
So
I think you.
I did count that other one right. Okay,
Yeah, there you go.
and am I missing?
So I'm curious. I mean, is that because it says, is that a stream or is that something else?
I'm sure it is a stream because it's not the creek, because the creek is the huge hexes near Brandywine,
Right.
and
So
then
the
the
stream, it has an asterisk, and I thought you said asterisk meant that they have to make a disorder check. So when they go over the stream here, right? Do they have to? It's got a little asterisk.
you are quite right. So yes, there is an asterisk, and it is non-clear terrain for series rule 8.7 and for disorder checks. So so it doesn't cost you anything extra
And
in
now,
terms of movement points, but it does lead to the potential of disorder. I'm going to just double check 8.7 to be absolutely sure that I've got it right. Oh, no. 8.7 is the non-clear terrain formation change. That's which obviously doesn't make any sense for a hex side. That's not really even the point. But it is non-clear terrain for disorder checks. So yes, if you cross the creek,
Not at the ford.
not at a ford, and
Right.
yes, you're right. There's a ford where the road is, and there is no effect there.
Correct.
If you cross anywhere else, even though there's no additional cost, there is a chance of taking disorder.
all right. Let me reconsider it a second. Now,
Right?
I feel like I'm missing somebody here.
You got.
I should have the 15th, the 17th, the 42nd, and the 44th. I've got the 15th.
You and your stragglers.
40. Oh, they're both there. Okay, they're okay now. Actually, and this one, the one that's the 44th, actually,
yes.
he was supposed to be coming in on this square with him. Sorry about that. Okay.
There we go. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all right.
Okay, so all right, so if I do, all right, so the ones going across here don't have to do a disorder check.
That's right.
Correct.
So 1, 2, 3. All right, I guess I'll just do the disorder check with them. Let's see.
Well, could they move one
There.
more forward?
There.
They could, but it gets a little bit complicated because now they're going to be if they move forward one more hex, no problem. If they move forward one more movement point to go stack with the other members of the third,
Right.
then they will have done a pass through of the artillery from the fourth because they entered and exited the hex, so they'd have to do a disorder check. They certainly could all stack together.
Right.
No problem with that.
Yeah, I was curious with the stacking. So, but it's because you're moving through. So
right.
he could move into the hex where the fourth
That's right.
field artillery is.
Yes.
And stop there.
And the only trouble there is just remembering that you got a mixed stack of two different formations, but there's no rules problem with it. It's just a practical kind of, hey, where are the pieces kind of thing. So, so you got 2 disorder checks. Those disorder checks are going to be +5 for each hex side of triggering terrain. None of these are light infantry units, so it is +5 compared to their effectiveness rating.
The left one first.
Left one
He's
first,
fine.
no
Right
problem.
one, and no problem.
Don't even have to flip the units over.
These are fine British units
Oh, they're
that know
just
how to march.
And also, since this is my last activation with these, I'm going to move up. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3.
So what's moving?
The commanders.
Oh,
yeah, because your army leader, you try to move as late as possible,
oh, right.
just because it affects his command rating.
Right, so we move him, then we won't have as large a plus.
Yeah, in fact, it would go from being a +1 to a -1 at that point. But
And
again,
actually, I don't need to move them. They can move on their.
you could actually move them when Eric
Because
moves
his last. Yeah.
the last unit, the first, right? Isn't that the
Yeah, they haven't moved yet.
right? So yeah, you don't need to move them then. You could move them with the first.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter because it's going to happen quite shortly anyway. But
Now, could they also move during the, say we burn through the whole turn kind of thing with rolling over 10? Do they also move then at the end of the turn thing or not?
Yeah, but you'd still have to have an actual formation to activate.
Ah, okay.
They can't just move whenever they feel like it. They have to activate with a command.
With another thing. Okay.
And I think you're down to just having the one command that hasn't activated.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. So that would be it.
Okay.
Welcome to do it now, or you could just wait until Eric goes.
Right.
You know what?
I'll wait.
You can take the advantage of the extra time and figure out where you want to put them.
That's what I was going to do.
There you go. Perfect. All right.
All right.
All right.
Who's chucking dice
I think
next?
it's my turn. Here we go.
All right. Throw them out there. Oh,
No.
big dice. Big dice.
There we go.
It doesn't matter that we're getting down to the end turn marker because we're running out of people who can move.
Yeah.
But what the heck? British?
Okay.
That
Yes.
is the first.
Yep. So we'll do
Now-
the first, and so we've got one chap up here who's out of command.
Very out of command, yes.
So he can only move. So he can move.
2
there.
movement points.
So
Now
that's half.
that's half. That's
There's
1.
and then there's another.
And so that's
half.
1.5. So that's 2 exactly. So that I just always think in terms of that maneuver, which unfortunately you do a lot, costs 2.
Right.
So all right,
And we can move. We've got our field artillery here.
right.
And it can go 1. Is it
And
2?
going down a gentle slope is not a problem. Right.
Okay.
So that would be 2.
Right. And if I move it.
Oh no, of course he's not out of command. So
No, he's not.
actually he could do the full 4 if you were so inclined.
Right, but if I move him here through this infantry, don't you say
Yeah,
that that's going to
then you-
trigger a pass
And you've got
through?
then you've got to pass through, and then you get disorder check you got to do.
Okay. So would it be better for me to move this guy first, and then I can move him and just park him there? I mean, that's going to be a problem anyway. I do it until this gets in command.
Yes, until he gets out of the way.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, and I would say, you just got to try to decide. For one thing, what's the morass? What's the story there for the effect on artillery?
marsh
That's marsh.
it's
Oh,
prohibited.
It's prohibited. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Well, then you're going to have to go a completely different direction.
No, I can go. The artillery can go down and cross here, right?
Oh, I saw it. I did not see
Yeah,
that until
yeah.
just now. Yeah, I was looking at the one upstream. But yeah, okay. So yeah, boy. Um,
So here, I'll
yeah,
move this guy first. So he's going to be. So he can
okay.
move here. So that's going to be half. And then if I wanted to move him um, here, that's going to cost 2.
Yes, and he's got to go into general order.
Right, but I'm not. Does it trigger a check or not?
Does not, and here's why it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't because with hex terrain,
Right.
you have to move in and out in one movement segment in order to trigger a disorder check. Simply
Okay.
moving in isn't sufficient. Moving out isn't sufficient. You got to move in and out in the same turn to trigger a disorder check. Now, obviously, with hexside terrain, well,
Right. So then
obviously, just
if he
crossing is
were to
enough.
cross here in a subsequent turn, he's going across the stream, that would trigger a check.
Yeah, and we'd
For
have to
example.
look at, and we did a little bit of this in our last game of dealing with general order. General order is a little bit um, cumbersome
Right.
in order to get in and out of general order.
So I think what I'll
But
do is I'll come
yeah,
here and I will turn him. So that's half.
that's
And
one and
so
a
that's
half
going to
now.
be, yeah,
That's
2.
two. Yep,
And then he can
exactly.
go here.
Then three.
And
Yeah,
then 4 he can get there.
right. And I was going to say that I think now that you've found a way across that stream that doesn't involve the swamp,
Right.
that's almost certainly the better bet.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or I would have double tracked here back this way
Yeah.
towards
Oh,
that
yeah. What a mess.
road thing.
Right.
But
Right.
it is what it is.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, this is what you get when you come out to this barbarous country here. So then your question is do you just bring the artillery up 2 hexes, or do you bring them up 2 hexes and then scooch them over to the east, but then they got to go through the trees in order to get down the stream, or or well, you can't do that
Why not?
because that is 2 units that are legal to stack with each other, but which don't have the same facing right now. So they
Oh, interesting.
now, to be fair,
Yes.
you have enough movement points to either pass through and then you have to take the disorder check,
Right.
or to change formation or change facing so you're facing the same way as the infantry, and then it's actually legal.
Interesting.
Either one's allowable, but what you're doing now is not permitted.
Okay. I'll go through.
Okay, sure.
So 1, 2,
So
3, and then it would cost
pass
me 1 to
through.
turn.
I,
4.
uh, 1, 2, 3. No, I think you spent 4 to get there.
Well, I was here,
Mm,
or was I here?
I think you were there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
3,
Okay.
4. So you're still facing southeast,
There we
right?
go.
But and then we'll just look real fast. For each pass-through hex, it's plus 10. So, and what you'll probably find is that you probably have an effectiveness rating of 21 or 24. So basically, you're looking to beat 31 or 34 on 2 dice.
Okay. All right. So it's a 21. So we go ahead and roll 45. So they're
There
happy.
you go. All right. So
Right.
make sure
And
to flip him
then-
back because
yep.
there you
And
go.
then we got this chap here, and we just roll for him too, correct? Or
He's-
only the unit
he's-
that went through?
Just the. Well, I'm pretty sure it's just the unit that moved. I don't.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think.
Well, that's
I don't
cool.
think. Let's just double check here. Nope, it is for both.
Yeah, that makes sense to me because I
It
know in
actually makes more
Lobatai,
sense.
when you
Yeah,
have issues where stuff is going through, the others,
right.
both of them have to. All right, so we'll make a check for this chap.
Plus 10.
25, it's going to
Uh-oh.
probably fail, right?
Yeah, that's not, yeah, there's no way he's a 15, so.
No, he's a 24.
All right. Well, that's good. So we're getting some exercise of the rules. So we need to find a disordered marker for this
There we
guy
go.
I
and
think you can
slap.
right click on that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I just right clicked on it and went down to
Yeah, because we're
formation,
not
whatever, and
using
pulled
that
it up.
barbarous Monmouth vassal module, so we actually have some tools available to us. Very good. Was that everybody from the first?
Uh, well, let's see. I don't think anybody else really from the first can move.
This
I mean,
this
this
guy
guy here
down
could, right?
this guy down here could move.
One
He's
hex
welcome
forward,
to
maybe.
move. He can certainly move forward. I mean, that's only going to cost him a half,
Half.
right? Because he's
Oh,
in
okay.
column to do that, so he could turn, and there's
Turn,
1.5.
and
So
then
that's
he can
all
go
good.
there, and then
Yes, he could. Yes, he could.
there we go.
Wow, look at you.
I'm becoming an expert.
Oh yeah, you're large and in
And I know
charge.
this
Look.
guy can't because he doesn't have enough points yet.
Well, and it's not his turn to activate because he's part of the second.
Oh yeah,
not the
you're right. He
first.
is part of the second. Yep, yep.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the other
Okay.
trick there.
All right.
All right. Well done, sir. Well done. Okay, then.
And then David, did you move your leaders?
So I'm okay. So
Yep.
Hal is going to move up here with the light infantry. That's forward.
So where did he go? Way up front? Oh yeah, yeah. He's up at
Wow.
Eliza Thornberry's house.
Oh yeah, he wanted to visit Miss Thornberry.
Have a scone.
And
And a cup of tea.
Cornwallis is going to go. So 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4.5, 5, and he's going to end up right there.
All right.
And
Seems legit.
and leaders changing facing doesn't have no cost.
there's
Yeah, I didn't
no,
think so.
no. In fact, facing is really just kind of a formality with the leaders. I will face them along with whatever units they're stacked with, just to make it more obvious what's going on. But
Right.
yeah, if they're by themselves, it's really completely a formality.
Okay.
So, okay, well, I think that's it. And then we'll just need to bang through however many American activations we need to do.
Yep.
Um,
Roll 1.
is it my turn again?
Sure.
Yep.
No, I think it is actually. Yeah.
Oh, we get to move it forward again, right?
Oh boy, howdy, what fun is that? Yeah, exactly. And then that's just an individual activation. So let's take a look and we'll. Ooh, I like this guy's name, Humpton. That's a great one there. So yeah, we'll just do him. That's that. There's nothing to do. I'm not going to do any facing changes. I am allowed to do facing changes. I'm not going to, but I'm allowed to. Okay. And then, you know what? I mean, I'll just keep rolling since I'm the only one doing anything here. I am still waiting to see a 0. Have we seen a 0 ever?
So this is also over 10, right? So does that advance it another one?
Actually, it would. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a wing activation.
Oh, wonderful. If I just could find a wing that I needed to activate.
There you go. You've got. I mean, if victory was determined just by the number of wing activations.
Oh yeah, then I'd be large.
Yeah.
And in
Americans
charge.
would have won already.
Well, I'll just go ahead and activate. Let's see, that was Humpton, so I guess the next one is Hartley right here. Where's Hartley? Where is Hartley?
He's there next to Harvey's Run.
Oh, I don't know why I just didn't see it. But yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, you could activate Wayne while you're at it, aren't they?
Well, I could, and I'm not going to because I don't care. I mean, let's be real. To be completely blunt about it, just don't care. All right, we'll chuck another one. I'm
Oh,
wondering how
that
many times we're
pushes
going
it
to have to
forward
throw the
another one.
dice.
Well, isn't that also
Yes.
advance the thing another turn?
Yeah,
Now
it
we're
does. So that
now
puts
we're
us in
under
end
limited.
turn.
Yep, and limited activation.
That's right. Which frankly doesn't mean anything because my units aren't allowed to
Are all
move.
limited anyways.
And I think we've all pretty well decided 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hexes away. I'm pretty sure we're not anywhere near being able to hit. It's times 2, and even though that's a big juicy stack of units, actually it is big enough and juicy enough I might be able to take a shot at it.
That's what your guys up on the little rise.
I'm thinking. And they are actually part of Hartley's command. So actually, I think I will fire them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 to that hex there.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm doing this is because you've got enough stacked there that I think I get a little bit of plus.
Okay.
Because I've got 4 increments. They each have a ×2 multiplier because of the distance. So I'm firing at 8. 8 to 20, it's 1 to 3. You've got 11 increments, and then what is it?
And then I've got 2 of the little regimental guns.
But those are regimental guns, and I think they don't count as long as they're stacked with their regiment. Is that?
Yes.
Is that actually their?
Yep, that's their parent regiment.
Okay. Well, then that means that I think I only get a plus. I get a plus nothing. Okay. Never mind. It was a lot of fun, but I decided not to do it.
So why did you say the fire? Oh, you're right. We're doubling the fire defense.
Right.
Okay.
Because otherwise you end up at
the fire defense
outrageous
is 10.
high
What are you
numbers.
saying? It's 10.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I also just was using just kind of bad memory. Usually in the regular series, 11 would be big enough to give you a fire multiplier. But not in this because again they're only fit exactly. And then the next thing I was thinking is usually artillery counts as 4 each. So that would be another 8. So that's 19 in that hex. That is a juicy target, right? But not to worry. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think I've got just 2 more that I haven't done.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Maxwell has activated yet. Doesn't look like Wayne is activated yet.
Well, Wayne's not command leader. He's a wing leader, so I'm not worried about him.
There's Nash.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get Nash out of the way. All right, and then we'll roll some more. I'm gonna in a minute here. I'm gonna just sit here and pound this until I start seeing some zeros. I'm worried that this thing isn't programmed correctly. I mean, this is by far the longest I've ever not seen a special result come up. There's just something feels funny about it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do Maxwell then. He's the one up on Birmingham Hill. All right, and then let's take a look. I want to make sure I got everybody right here. We got Nash, we got him. Alexander is a wing leader, so that's nobody. And Scott has already gone. Woodford's gone.
You got Maxwell, who's here by that battery that fired, right?
Oh, the battery didn't fire.
Oh, okay. The battery that thought about firing.
Oh, right, right. No, you're quite right. I forgot that he is a command leader. All right, well then we'll just throw one more.
Another Maxwell. There's two Maxwells?
Good to the last drop.
There shouldn't be two Maxwells.
There's a Maxwell up on Birmingham Hill.
Well, this is Brigadier General Maxwell, who is a -4 and a 6. What's the other chap?
And he's a -4 and a 6.
Signal.
Brigadier General?
Oh, how weird. You're right. Why would he be in two places? Let's take a look at the setup
It's
charts.
his evil twin brother.
We can't rule that out. We cannot rule that out. Where's Maxwell supposed to be? And why does he appear twice? Maxwell is supposed to be set up within 5 hexes of Southwest 5000. Oh, sorry. Wrong. No, that's the right one. He's set up with the Light Infantry Brigade.
Which is the one that's down here by the ford, it looks like. You've got those two skirmishers.
Yes. Within 5 hexes of 5004 on the southwest map. So he is set up correctly down there. So then the question is, why was he
Who's
also
supposed
up?
to be with the New Jersey people?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So who is that? That's the New Jersey Brigade up there. And where are they?
It also says Maxwell.
Well, that would explain why he's in both places.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But then there's also Commander LIB. Who's Commander New Jersey Commander LIB? It's just some generic commander.
The command leader is the generic commander. It says under New Jersey Brigade, and then there's the one unit that's considered attached to the NGB. So is that the problem, that the generic commander should have been placed up there where this Northern Maxwell is?
Could be.
That's kind of looking.
Yeah, because he's part of Alexander's division.
Ragtime band, yeah. Okay, well, let me see if I can find him then. Leaders
He's there.
American.
He's just simply NJ Brig Commander.
Where?
Under Nash, for leaders, American leaders. If you go to the American units tab.
Yeah. Okay, got him.
Yeah.
Got him. So right here.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna delete him, and I'm gonna put him in his place and flip him over, and he is commander.
Yeah, he's even better.
He's got an initiative of 8.
Okay, well, that's because he's going to have to run like hell here real soon. Okay, so we've got Scott and Woodford up here, and they're both activated. And then we've got Conway is one we haven't done yet. That's this guy here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that should be my last one at that point.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Now, just out of sheer bloody mindedness.
Go for it.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay.
It worked.
We went through 2 full turns without seeing a 0.
Yep.
Okay. It obviously is wise. It's listening to us.
There you go. That's the only artificial intelligence that is in
Vassal.
Vassal.
Right there. Yeah. No, I think you might be right. Okay. All right. So that means everyone's activated. And so we would usually at this point do the rally phase. We just roll dice. In this case, I would rally first. and then you guys would rally next.
And rally
Rallying
is only
is
for people that are routed or
it is
shaken.
it is removing shakenness and rout. That's
Okay.
correct. Yeah. Disorder recovery happens at the beginning of every activation.
Right.
So that's when disorder comes off.
Okay.
So there's nothing to do in the rally phase right now, and then for the maintenance phase where you take all the finished markers off and take off the end turn markers, well, that's all handled by the other bit of automatic intelligence, and that's the end turn marker up here.
Voila.
Ta-da!
It's a miracle.
It is a miracle.
A
It's a
Christmas
Christmas
miracle.
miracle. It is.
So we
Um,
move to the 5 o'clock turn then, I guess, right?
right. We go to 5 o'clock. We have a slightly, or is it the same? No, it's the same length of end turn for the 5 o'clock hour compared
Right.
to the 4 o'clock hour. So that doesn't change anything. We do have another change, and I just want to make sure that I state it correctly, that all the units north of Brinton's Ford Road and Lafayette are able to move starting with this turn. So even
So
if you
starting in
haven't,
the 5 o'clock turn, the everything north of Brinton's Ford Road,
which I
which is
think
this one here, right?
yeah, where is it? There's so many to choose from.
Yeah. No, it's the one that's here. Remember, it's here. It's
Yes,
north of that
yes,
little
but
battery
this
or whatever
it,
you've got.
exactly, yes. And so effectively, it just means those 1, 2, 3, 4 commands up on Birmingham Hill
Yeah.
and
Those
Meeting
can do
House
something.
Hill
Right.
can actually, of course, one of them was able to move before, but now all of them would be able to move. And
And when you
the
say,
Marquis de Lafayette as
okay,
well.
so as a leader, he can move.
Right.
Okay.
Right, because right now he is with Washington
Right. And Knox.
and nearly useless at the current moment. Um,
So what do you normally use him for? Like rallying troops or
for Lafayette,
yeah.
uh, he can attach any unit he is stacked with. Um, so
And create a little command just with himself and whoever he's stacked with.
right. So I mean, and frankly, it's one of those things you kind of have to work at it to try to make it make any sense. But yeah, if you had a unit that was not part of the command that was activated, you could say, well, I'm activating Lafayette and I'm
Right.
attaching this unit, which ordinarily wouldn't be activated. Now, to be fair, it can't have been part of a command that's already activated before, because that wouldn't be fair. That means you're activating twice.
Right.
But if that formation hadn't activated yet, hey, there's another one that can activate along with. To be fair, yeah, I expect I'll probably use them a lot, mostly for rallying,
Okay.
just because he can run around and rally, and I'm not really sure that there's a compelling need for me to do the attachment business, but we'll see.
Well, and I see that he's got a 0 for initiative. So that must mean that because he's not a regular commander, he can't use his initiative for anything.
Yeah, he's not a formation commander, so
Right.
there's really nothing for him to have initiative for. I Yeah, and he's part of the chain of command if Washington were killed.
Right.
And then the rules tell you what his command rating and his wing activation number would be if he were to take command. But otherwise, he doesn't have any use for the initiative capability. What was his here I am looking again. What was his well, he's not very good. I mean, he's only a -4, so he wouldn't even be all that helpful for rallying. Better than nothing, but not great. And +1 means he's not that useful in
Combat.
close combat
Right.
either. So yeah, kind of not really all that impressive. The
I
truth
remember
is,
right in Monmouth, he was a little better than that, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, but he had the benefit of spending the winter at Valley Forge, I guess. Maybe. Truth is, he's probably still seasick here. He probably just showed up. So, and he's still a relatively young man at this point. So I don't know. He's hitting his stride.
There you go. He doesn't quite command the same panache as
Yeah,
later
well,
in the war. Right now, he's
he's
just another Frenchman.
that's right. And you know, all the colonists are a little suspicious of
That's
his,
right.
effete manners.
Exactly. Let's see. Well, we're
So
missing. Where's Alexander Hamilton? Right. We got to sing a song when he comes up on the field somewhere.
we
Right.
would. I don't know where he would be at this point.
Yeah. I think
Actually,
he's
I
in.
have no idea where he was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he and Washington were kind of tight, weren't they?
Yeah. I think he was his ADC for
Here.
or headquarters staff or something.
Yeah. I'll be
So
back in a second.